Kia ora everyone, and this container is 2 litres of petrol, regular 91. I bought it myself, cost $3.96. It's imported, taken out of the ground, who knows where, shipped across the ocean to New Zealand, then processed, trucked from Marsden Point to a gas station in Auckland, where it ended up in this fetching red container. In this container is 2 litres of New Zealand milk. It cost me $5.10. At the same gas station. You get it for about $4.80 at a supermarket. It probably comes from Waikato, given that we're buying it in Auckland. Tonight we ask a very simple question. Why is 2 litres of New Zealand milk $1 more expensive than 2 litres of imported petrol? Why? We ask it because a Northland health boss is asking it, and Chris Farrelly wants answers.
The context of that is that our community is a poor community. 25% of our children are living in poverty. In New Zealand, 55,000 children go to school every day without having breakfast. Poverty in our country is a real thing. 25% of our children are living in poverty, are not eating properly. So in Northland, this is very real, particularly in Northland, given that we have the highest unemployment in New Zealand. And the impact on our children is they're arriving at school not ready or able or capable of learning fully. And that sets them on a trajectory really for the rest of their life. That's what's really important to us, its impact on learning, which is in the long term an impact on health.
Chris, I can, we're pre-recording this interview, but I can feel the emails coming in already, and they're going to say, look, this isn't about milk, this is about parenting choices and bad parenting choices. Surely, if mum and or dad are committed to getting milk into their child's belly, they're going to be able to do so, aren't they?
No, they're not. The reality is, when you are living in poverty, when you don't have the cash, you just don't have it. And we're seeing this over and over again. People now can't afford to go to see a doctor. When you are living in a situation where you don't have the cash at hand, you do cut back. And sometimes we cut back on what seemingly are some of the most essentials.
What would you like to see happen then? Particularly given that dairy farmers watching this are going to be saying, look, we are farmers and farming is a business. We're not a social agency. It is not our job to subsidise the poor of New Zealand. It is our job, first and foremost, to make a maximum income for ourselves. So what happens in the market to get milk to be cheap without robbing farmers of income?
Good question. Remember, 95% of our milk is exported. We're talking of a very small amount that's used here in New Zealand. Let's take a leaf out of the Aussies book. They've just slashed the price of milk by 33% in Australia. A litre of milk now in Australia is $2 Australian. The Australians have been able to do it. Why can't we? They're doing it. At the moment, they're able to do it because they've got a price war on among their supermarkets. We seem to be ruled here by a duopoly, or in the case of milk producer, a monopoly. There are other players in Australia. So we seem to be taken prisoner at the moment. I ask Fonterra, which is a fine New Zealand company, which is proud to be New Zealand, we're proud of it, to help look after our children. If our children in New Zealand are healthy and well and energetic, then I believe that will impact even more positively on Fonterra. Remember, we're only talking about a very, very small proportion of their exported milk.
Chris, what sort of response have you had to you coming out in public and saying this stuff?
Oh, very positive, John. The reality of child poverty is not something that's very distant to us. It hits us day in, day out, day in, day out, and people are just exacerbated and exhausted by seeing prices of some of the most basic things in their lives going up out of their reach. Milk is now a luxury for many people here. So we've had a lot of support locally from people here in terms of this issue.
Chris Farrelly, all this is a continuation of a story we ran last night about poverty, and the Free Store